Hey there, YouTube. This is Fragments of Memory, aka the Armchair Philosopher. Now, maybe a week ago, I went to a meeting. It's called Midrash. It's commentary on culture. It's sponsored by the Journey Church. Though the Journey Church sponsors it, people of different faiths and people of no faith come together and discuss their opinions and share their views. Anyway, it was a Schlafly's Bottle Works, and they make a very excellent elk chili. But we're discussing the Occupy movement, or as I like to call it, the 1% versus the 99%. Well, they talked about the good points and the bad points of the Occupy movement. And I will say that being a part of that discussion really helped me to see a little bit more about the Occupy movement. Now, one thing is that there are these subtle nuances in regards to the 1%, quote unquote, versus the 99%, and just economics in general. And I think I was having a conversation with my mother. Well, not I think, I know I was having a conversation with my mother, but me and my mom were talking about how, as she's gotten older and as I've gotten older, life has nuances, just like this Occupy movement. It's not just shades of black and white. It's shades of gray. There's different types of blues and reds and et cetera, et cetera. Now, yes, I will agree that the rich, the wealthy, have access to better resources where they can purchase lobbyists, they can purchase lawyers that help them look for the tax loopholes, where they can either keep their money, get more money, et cetera, et cetera. Now, the problem really is greed all around, though, not just necessarily corporate greed, though corporate greed is a focus. Um, many of these many of these corporations have many of these corporations have like golden parachutes for the CEOs, where the CEO, let's say the company goes under, but the CEO gets the golden parachute to jump out to safety. And I can remember there was a guy, he was a CEO of a company right here in St. Louis. His name was, he isn't even registered to vote in St. Louis, but he dropped $11 million on an ad campaign to remove the city tax. So the city tax is removed because of this man's campaign. Now, mind you, this man has a mansion. This man has cars out the wazoo. This man is wealthy upon wealthy upon wealthy. And he used his influence to try to get tax laws changed just for him. So I think that was one thing that we kind of discussed in the group was why does this, the rich can lobby for favors. And unfortunately, I don't have a lobbyist. A guy like me doing what I do, I don't have a lobbyist that's going to get me, favors. And of course, in this Occupy, we have the rhetoric of socialism and capitalism. I mean, if you agree with the Occupy movement, you're all for socialism and big government. If you disagree with it, you're part of the corporations and you hate the corporate. You hate America because you hate capitalism. Well, in essence, nothing's wrong with a free market. But I also understand you do got to help your fellow man. So on that one, I think helping your fellow man is important. It's vital. It's good. It's wonderful. But there should be hard work. There should be dedication. There should be good things in that. Because right now we're in a culture of fear. Many of us fear losing our jobs. Some of us have lost jobs. Some of us are unemployed. Some of us are underemployed. So many of us are afraid we're going to be homeless on the streets. So that is a fear right now of poverty and everything. Um, going and unfortunately, it does. It's real terrible. It's a real drag that in school, to go to school to get a good education, you have to go into debt to go get this good education. And I've talked about this in past videos. I do like about the Occupy movement that it is opening up the dialogue. Like, we know some things are broken in our society, and it's really making us as people in this society step up and stand up and be counted. We're having a conversation, and not only are we having a conversation, we're having dialogue, and we're rethinking what we're doing. Now, there was a YouTuber on here, and he talks about how it's really blame to go all the way around, not just a 99%, not just a 1%. Everybody spin, 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 buy, 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 shop till you drop. And unfortunately, that has impoverished a lot of us, which I totally 100% agree with. We need to not be such a consumer society. I think we also need to be producers as well as consumers. We need to kind of balance that out. And I think it is bigger than wealth distribution. It is so much bigger than wealth distribution. I think the main problem is people aren't content with what they have. Um, Again, I mentioned consumerism earlier. There's a lot of consumerism. Just everybody, I see this, I must have it. I see that, I've got to have it. I see this over here. I need this right now. I gotta have it. I see my neighbor with something. I want to get it too, just because I want to keep up with the Joneses. And that sort of gets we get caught up in all of that drama. I do believe though that we live in a nation that meritocracy is preached, but it's not always practiced. Someone's nephew gets to hook up from his rich uncle, or someone's daughter gets to hook up from her wealthy family. And from the Islamic perspective, wealth is a test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a test to see what we're going to do with our wealth, how we're going to spend it. Do we spend it the right way, or do we spend it just being selfish and on ourselves? Because in reality, any wealth we get is not truly ours. It belongs to Allah Almighty. So, just remember that. It doesn't belong to us. And that's something that we need to really think about, is we do need to help our fellow man. I think we do need to help people do what they got to do. Whether it's, hey man, a man's starving, get him something to eat. A man's homeless, give him the means to try to get some money so he can get a place and not be on the cold streets at night and not be subjected to the elements. So I'm all in agreement with that part of it, but the problems with the Occupy movement is it's like someone else is going to take care of us. The corporations have to do their part. And personally, I think everybody needs to do their part, not just the corporations, not just the not just the people on the ground. I think if we were more content with what we had and we saved our money, we'd be in a little bit better situation. And I say this to me before I say this to anyone else, but the discussion was very lively, very good, very civil. I think the Occupy movement is waking us up out of our apathy, is making us not just go with the flow. We're actually going to have to be proactive people, more alert people, more vigilant people. And if it takes maybe trouble to wake us up, so be it. Well, that's my 2 cents on it. But if you're in the St. Louis area, you should go to Schlafly's Bottle Works every third Wednesday of the month. They do the Midrash theology at the Bottle Works. Really good discussion. It had a lot. It had some philosophy, some ethics, some theology, and some economics. So it was and some politics. So it was a really great, lively discussion. My brain was stimulated. I think your brain can get stimulated there too. Well, take it easy. Be easy like Sunday morning. Take care.